You remember the white blood cells or leukocytes? We said 5 types. And you remember the count. We said in the previous figure, we said the range of the count from 4,000 to 11,000 per microliter. Anyway, in this table, 5,000 to 10,000 cells in 1 microliter. This unit is used to count the white blood cells. Also, we can use millimeter cubic as well as milliliter and liter, similar to the RBCs. Low count of white blood cells is called leukopenia. Low count, it means below 3,000, depending on the person, the normal range of the normal white blood cells in that person. And high white blood cells is called leukocytosis. There is no difference between males and females of the count of the white blood cells. We'll come to this after 1 minute. There are 2 types of white blood cells or leukocytes. Granular leukocytes, these are neutrophils, eosinophils and basophils, and agranular or non-granular leukocytes, lymphocytes and monocytes. In these types, neutrophils, eosinophils and basophils, there are granules in their cytoplasm. Agranular or non-granular leukocytes, there are no granules in their cytoplasm. You see? As we said, there is no difference in count between males and females, but even in the same person, the count changes from time to time. For example, in general, the count is high in the evening, low in the morning. The count increases after exercise and also after meal, and also the count increases in pregnancy. You see, these are the white blood cells, larger than RBCs. Just see the volume of these blood cells. You see, they have nuclei, the white blood cells. They can move easily through blood vessels, and also they leave blood vessels into tissues. The number is too much less than the RBCs, as well as the half-life. The time in which the white blood cells function in the circulation or in the tissues, ranging from hours to days and months, such as monocytes. This is another classification of the white blood cells. Sometimes we say granulocytes, lymphocytes, and monocytes. We don't say granulocytes or granular and non-granular. This is the cells per microliter average. This is the approximate normal range for each one. And this is the percentage of total white cells. This is the DLC, differential leukocyte count. In the cells, or in the white blood cells, 60% neutrophils, usually about 4% eosinophils, about 1% basophils, 30% lymphocytes, and 5% monocytes. And then this is the differential. It means when we count 100 cells of the white blood cells, we find that 60 cells neutrophils, 4 cells eosinophils, 1 cell basophils, and 30 cells lymphocytes, and 5 cells monocytes. These cells, or this figure, the range from, let us say, in one person, 5,000 white blood cells. This is just 50% of the white blood cells in the body. Then we count just 50% in the circulation. There is another 50% of the white blood cells adhering to the inner surface of the blood vessels. That 50% which is adhering to the inner surface of the blood vessels is called marginal white blood cells. Marginal white blood cells. Then you see, this is 50%, and the remaining 50% is still adhering to the inner surface of the blood vessels. This marginal white blood cells are released in hemorrhage, let us say, or hemolysis of white blood cells. You remember the erythropoietic activity, the duration of erythropoiesis, we said about 6 days. Also the leukopoietic activity, the duration of the production of the white blood cells, also 6 days. But the white blood cells, when are produced, they remain in the circulation, they remain in the bone marrow extra 6 days to mature, to be computerized to function when they are released into the circulation. All the white blood cells are produced in the bone marrow. But lymphocytes, they have extra source. They are produced in the lymphoid tissue. Therefore, when there is problem in the bone marrow, all the other 4 types of the white blood cells count decreases drastically, while the lymphocytes, they don't decrease too much. They decrease, but not similar to the decreasing in the other types of the white blood cells. All the white blood cells, they have enzymes so as to kill foreign bodies. As far as basophils, they have extra chemicals such as heparin, histamine, and serotonin. Normally, 75% of the cells in the bone marrow belong to the white blood cells, producing myeloid series, and only 25% are maturing red blood cells. even though there are over 500 times as many as red blood cells in the circulation as there are white cells, the difference in the bone marrow reflects the fact that the average lifespan of the white blood cell is short, whereas that of the red blood cells is long. This figure shows the leukopoiesis, the production of the white blood cells. The production of the white blood cells is the most complex, the most complicated process in the body because of the following points. First, as you see, there are many factors are involved in the production of the white blood cells. Many factors. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Even many factors are involved in the production of the white blood cells leukopoiesis. The duration, as we said, similar to the duration of the production of the red blood cells, about 6 days, or leukopoietic activity. The other point that each one of these factors involved in the production of the white blood cells is produced by many sources. Second, there is, you see, overlap in the action of, or you will see that one factor affects more than one type of cells. You see, this granulocyte colony stimulating factor affects the production of neutrophils, and the same affecting another cell, even red blood cells, or eosinophils. You see, there is overlap of the action of the factors involved in the production of the white blood cells. Another point, which is also very complicated, similar to the RBCs, many stages for the production of the white blood cells. But in each stage, not one cell type, many cells types are produced, even platelets and red blood cells. And as you see, there is here colony stimulating factor. This colony stimulating factor, this factor, or this factor, or this factor, this is in the lab, when is added to the stem cell, produces many cells. Therefore, these factors are called colony stimulating factors. You see, from this figure, you can understand that the leukopoiesis is very complicated process, and the most complicated process in the body. You see, the production even involves the production of platelet as well as the red blood cells.